The kidneys filter waste and regulate fluids. The pancreas controls blood sugar levels. The brain coordinates all bodily functions. When these organs are healthy and efficient, the entire body operates better. One of the most effective ways to strengthen these internal organs is through intensive cardiovascular exercise. That's for those who are asking me why intense. Because it's not your outer body I'm looking at, it's your inner body. This type of exercise pushes the heart, the lungs, and the circulatory system to work harder than usual. Over time, this challenge forces the body to adapt, making the organs stronger and more efficient. I hope you understand. That's why I can be doing flying burpees with somebody I'm 30 years older than. Junior, where is he? That's why me and I'm going to do flying burpees together. At 62, I should be using walking stick. Greeting people. Good afternoon. Hey, my son, how are you?
Please, can you touch down and check
In modern society, many people live sedentary lives. You know this part because I preach it almost every week. Many people live sedentary lives, long hours of sitting, limited movement, and poor lifestyle habits. All these contribute to diseases such as hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, and obesity. Intensive cardiovascular training provides a powerful solution to many of these problems by improving the performance of the body's internal organs. Remember that you sit most of your life. You realize that in this modern time, you sit most of your life. Let's start from the morning. You wake up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, you take a bath. For those who take breakfast, you sit down at the table, you take breakfast. You come out and enter your car, you sit down again. Or you go to the junction and enter a bus and sit down. You will now sit for maybe 1 hour going to work. When you get to work, you're exhausted from sitting. And you're saying, man, this work are tough. It's not tough. Your body is deteriorating. Nothing tough about it. You get to the office. You get into the office. You sit. You sit most of that day. You may climb the stairs 2 or 3 times. You sit most of that day. Then you go back home. Then you go back home. You sit all the way back home in your car. Then you get into the house. You take a bath. You come and sit down and watch TV and listen to news. Before you go upstairs or go to your room and lie down again and sleep. When you're lying down, you are doing the same thing as sitting. So calculate the hours when you're active, living a normal life, as against the hours when you're not active. You'll be shocked. The activity takes up maybe about 15 to 20% of your day. You spend the rest inactive. When you use your brain, you're not using your body. Your brain is working hard. Yes, you're exhausted after. You're burning calories for energy, for your brain, not for your body. The two are very different. Somebody will say, you know what I do in the office? I calculate it, I do annual report. Now your brain, they work. Your body is at rest. So you find out that at 45, you're already having one small pinching pain on your ankle. And you're disturbing your physiotherapist. Or you're looking for your orthopedic doctor to worry. But when you're doing this intensive training, your blood supply is far better. Your blood supply is far better. Your heart muscles are stronger. I hope you know that the heart is just the heart is a muscle. Even though it's called an organ, it's a muscle. It pulls in blood, it pumps it out. It oxygenates it, and it pumps it out. See, the whole human body is like one composite unit. If A spoil, you go disturb B, B go disturb C, C go disturb D. Because talking about toothache, I mean about the dental care. Have a toothache, come make I give you bottle. If you don't take mark, drop cement, that day you'll be shocked. You won't know when you're jumping and when you're landing. There's dental pain you feel as a grown man. You sit on a chair, tears will come out of your eye. Because it's 3 a.m., there's no doctor to see. You're waiting for 7. That day, you know that 4 hours is a very long time. It feels like 1 day. Doctor, that's why you know how I met him. My wife thought I was made of iron. One day, by 1:30 a.m., my tooth just kicked in. I sit down for parlor. And no TV on. Because even person talking, my teeth they vibrate. So I had to sit. I sat in a spot. 1:30 a.m. till 7:30. My wife said, we had just moved into our area that time. She said, there's one place it's called Advent Dental. Dog hadn't come. I sat by his door waiting. Tears were streaming down my face. And I had to be quiet. When he came, he said, hey, let's check it and see. I said, okay, remove it. He said, no, I said, remove it.
No pain.
This one, pain na warning. I said, I talked about before. Do you know when I started listening to all his medical stories? After he had injected my gum and the pain had come down. I now said, hey, what did you say we'll check? He said, so when they tell you the whole body is together, the teeth, the muscles, the organs, everything is together. Even these fingernails that you don't bother with, at least men don't remember they have fingernails. The women, they remember. Wait until something hook your fingernail. Yeah? You can't drive from here to the junction. If that fingernail splits, or whitlow can't happen. Hey. So, the whole body is a composite unit. So, I don't, if I keep reading this, it will take us too long. So, I'll just try and make it brief. So, why am I saying this and why did I talk about this intensity? When training is intense, cardiovascular activity is increased. And if I'm not wrong, for the doctors, your maximum heart rate is 220 minus your age. So if you're 60, you remove 60 from your age. I mean from 220, that should give you about 160. That should be your maximum heart rate. As a normal person, what happens with intensive training? You can go beyond that heart rate because your internal organs are in top shape. Your heart can pump like hell. And the funny thing is that at your resting rate, you're no longer doing 72 beats a minute. You're doing 60, 65, 67. Because the muscles of your heart are so strong that every time your heart contracts and expels, the power of that push is so much that it circulates the entire body. And like I said, the human body is adaptive. So when the body realizes that it doesn't need to be going boom, 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 to supply blood all around, what you start having is boom, 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 boom. Do you understand? What does it do for you at the end of the day? What it does for you is this, pretty simple. When you do your cardio, if you take someone who does not train as intensely as you do, by the time his heart rate is at 140, your own may be at about 105. Because your heart is already used to in high intensity, and the power of your heart is massive. So you don't need so much blood. And the same thing, many of you will have noticed that when we train now, we run puppy. We get up, we go cha-cha. We go from cha-cha, vertical crunches, jumping jacks. So people are doing it and they're shouting, coach, we should stop now. And I'm saying, finish up before you rest. Everybody is jumping. I know say Dr. Richard don't set me up. We're not talk about this on Monday. That person will do 100 burpees. Yeah. But remember too, by the time you guys do these things, you can see that most of the time these days, you're not out of breath. You're out of breath for like 3-4 seconds, 5 seconds, and you're back to normal. I don't see many of you heaving like before. Because I don't say before if you're finished. Somebody will be there. I'm going to wonder whether I'm from a Panama or not. But you see, with time, we're all changing. Great stuff we are doing here. Great stuff we've achieved. Okay? I said that for most of you. Say, I shout a lot, and it looks like, as far as I'm concerned, nobody is doing anything. It's a lie. The day I start appreciating everybody in every training day, our training will go down to 0. So I will keep shouting, you will keep doing. When you go to your house, any prayer fired against me will not work. So, so don't bother praying. But like I say all the time, let's not only train, let's learn. And that's why I give a lot of lectures on the training ground. Where I said, these things I'm saying, I have people who know it better than I do. And they are these men. You understand? I didn't do medicine, so I can't come and be claiming expert. There's more diplomas who are going on human kinetics. I can't use it to be competing with them. You understand? So I said, okay, let me go and bring the professors. Let them come and talk. So that if I've been talking rubbish, my students will know. And then I invited a lot of people from the general public. Maybe the next event they will come. Because most people don't like to go where they need to learn. They like to go where they will party. But you guys have done well so far. I'll tell you that. Many of you are just 3 months old. I've grilled you like your people who have been training me for 5 years. So much accomplishment. And a lot of you are beginning to learn about the human body. You need to know your body to know how to operate. You understand? And mind you, everything I've taught, I'll say one thing. Exercise will only keep you as much as God wants you to stay. You understand? God has the final say. But in the interim, I'd rather live a life where I'm not being carried about by my children until when God says, oh, you come. Rather than from wheelchair to stretcher, from stretcher to bed. And they will say, no, he's an old man. They say, how old is he? They say, he's 69. My brother, 69 is not old. I'm telling you, 70 is not old. One thing I say most of the time, you're as old as, first of all, you're as old as you think you are. Am I making any sense with that? Your psychology and your physiology relate all the time. If you develop the mind of a 100-year-old man and you're 35, you will start to age. Supports liver metabolism. Supports liver metabolism. Protects kidney function. Stabilizes blood sugar levels and enhances brain performance. At the cellular level, it increases the body's ability to produce energy and sustain physical activity. These improvements not only enhance physical fitness, but also help prevent many chronic diseases associated with modern sedentary lifestyles. Ultimately, the goal of exercise should not be to look fit, but to build a body that functions efficiently from inside out. Strong internal organs create the foundation for long life, resilience, and vitality. By incorporating structured and safe intensive cardio exercises into regular routines, individuals can significantly improve their health and their quality of life. So, with that, I'll read you a very long treatise because you know, see every time I give lecture, they're long. So this one as brief as possible. Right? So God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Coach. That was a very wonderful lecture. And somebody will say, you live through your words. Don't just say a word and do another one. You are living to your name, to your actions, to your words. So so we can hold the
I want to tell
words.
them again. Yes.
There is something when I was reading a book, it was trying to say, when the explanation is somebody's trying to market something to you. You can imagine somebody saying, come to my gym, let me make you fit. You're looking at the person is looking like Papa Jasu. Will you go to the gym? No.
Okay, Coach, that was a very wonderful one, and thank you for that beautiful talk. So, but you mentioned something. You said we need to understand and study our body system. How do we do that?
First of all, everybody listens to their body. When something is wrong with you, you know. Instinctively, you know, because you can feel it somewhere that something is wrong. But when it comes to exercise, the first thing you do is go to see your doctor. Let him tell you your condition before you ever start. You understand? But when you're training too, hold yourself. Once you feel pain, hold yourself. Once you feel discomfort, hold yourself. Observe what's going on. Don't just gamble into things. And then when you're older, when you're 50 and above, you take your time, you study your situation, because if you break a bone at 50, you ain't healing to your 70. Bones don't heal quickly when you're older. They heal quickly when you're younger. You understand? So that's where...
And you also said that we are not just training for body fitness, but for inside house.
Yes, it's the internal body that you train. Cardio trains your heart. Your heart is not outside. I'm not training you to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. That is a byproduct of the training you're doing. You understand? You don't need to look all muscular, drink protein shakes so that your muscles can be very big. All you need to have is a toned body and then tensile muscles. That's all. And you're good to go. You understand? You're good to go.
For the benefit of those who want to meet you, how do they reach out to you?
My number is there. Well, my number is not there. Oh, whoa. Well, you see my number on that banner. You know, they can call me. The name of my house is State Fitness Dojo. We are located at number 44 Irekare Estate Road. And like I said, this place is my biggest hobby. You understand? I like making people fit. You understand? If you tell me you want to grow muscles, I point you to a gym. But you want to get fit, I bring you here. You still end up growing muscles because you saw the way I did push-ups with the boys. When we do push-ups, we don't do push-ups like regular. We do push-ups like we're in the Navy SEALs. You understand? I have boys here who can follow me, up to 200 push-ups straight, 150 push-ups straight. And yet none of us has muscles as big as a house. You understand? We're just toned. That's all. You understand? So once they get to understand that, then I don't think there's anything else. So they want to get to me. This here is State Fitness Dojo, 44 Irekare Estate Road. My phone number is 080-683-11193. 080-683-11193.
All right,
My name is Emeka. Most people call me Sensei. I'm also a martial arts teacher. All right, thank you.
The second session, when you close your eyes and try to stand on your bed. So, what does that mean? Does it mean that dental health is not okay if we didn't last up to that 30 seconds? Or is there something to look out for to last more than 30 seconds? I think that's
Sorry, what's your name? Chinelo. Before I answer the question, Chinelo, I will have to leave something to all of you before I go. And that's the easiest way to speak Chinese. So I will rehearse with her. I'm sure she'll be able to impact everyone the act of speaking Chinese. 1 minute. You know, it's easy to learn.
Yeah, it's easy.
So come, let's see.
Ni hao.
So, you know, in Chinese, you know, what you keep hearing is the letter O, N, and G, and some other thing, right? So, it's easy. In Chinese, you have to put the English word from the back in order to know, you express what somebody has said from the back. Like, what is your name?
Your name is what?
Them so what? Them so what? What is their name? Okay? So you see, it's quite easy. So whatever you hear in English, you speak the other way around, okay? That's the way to, does it make sense to you? No. What is your name? Name so what? So I'm just saying that, in effect, the question she asked is quite a good one, but it's actually a study. It's a study that is going on to link periodontal health with balancing and with health. It's not totally, you know, when such studies are ongoing, they could just keep experimenting with people and eventually come up with the results. So it's not a conclusive thing. I just wanted to try to see what that study is trying to say about balancing dental health and all those things. But eventually the answers will come much more. They are trying to link their oral health to their balancing and some other things. It's not conclusive. Okay? So it's not that you didn't get it right.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other question? Okay.
Good evening, all. My name is Uzo, and I won't call this a question, but it's still directed at the distinguished gentleman at the podium there. Still on pain and gain. You've already, run an expose on the good pain and the bad pain. But as a way of interrogating it, I want you to further break it down, further. Reason being that in my field, there are some books that we always read that are quick fix, like Statistics for Dummies, Organizational Strategies for Dummies, stuff like that. So as if you're presenting or rephrasing that, but not the mindset they are adults here, but maybe the mindset they are 3-year-olds here, so that we can further assimilate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alzo, for that question. I thought I used very elementary language in explaining the good pain and the bad pain. Firstly, I did say that pain is subjective. It is what you experience. It is what you feel. And if you say you have pain, people shouldn't just dismiss that complaint. And in the course of the presentation, talking about a good pain, I said that good pain is an expression of one of the characteristics of a living thing, which is adaptation. What it essentially means is that your body is not used to the kind of stress you're imposing on it. All right? So, in a bid to progress, to achieving your goal, your aim in exercising, your muscles, your tendons, muscles are just tissues that connect one joint, all right? Or rather, that move joints, okay? Over both, and connected to another joint by what we call tendon, okay? So the tendon and the muscles, they are one structure, but not homogeneous. So your muscles may develop what we call micro tears because you're stretching them beyond their original capacity. Is that clear? So when we say micro tears, it means they are not tears or injuries that are visible to the naked eye. All right? So that creates allowance for your muscle to heal and increase in size. That gives you the big pecs and the big arms. Okay? So that's the good pain. It doesn't start suddenly. It is not stabbing in nature. It is not sharp. It's usually what you feel a day after the exercise. I use that common balance. Be doing what you're doing, your body will tell you tomorrow. You remember I used that? Okay? So, and it is that kind of pain that when you go back to do your exercise and start your warm-up or your light yoga and all that, it improves. Now compare the back pain, which indicates that there's an injury that is of grave concern, which is the red flag. It starts suddenly, immediately, in the course of that exercise. It is usually not generalized. It is localized, that you can say this is where it is. It is not diffuse. Okay, you can point to a place and say, this is where I'm feeling this pain. It's unlikely to be pain in both knees. You understand? Or both shoulders. It's going to be one part of the body. And you're going to see things like swelling too. Alright? So, and it's a pain that can last beyond 3 days and more. Okay? So, if you look at those two, you should be able to say, this is the good pain that is propelling me towards that progressive part. And this is the bad pain that should make me to stop instead of pushing through. I hope I've been able to clarify your doubts. Thank you.
Next question.
Hello everyone, good evening. Dr. Itiye, Dr. Ifeanyi Aswara, and Dr. Richard, thank you so much for this session. I won't say a couple of questions because I took notes, I have like 10 questions there. But I'll try and crystallize as much as I can to each doctor and say exactly what I'm thinking. So first of all, quick introduction. I've been working out since I was 19. I'm 57 now. And so this is 40 years I've been working out. And at the time I remember working out, I had an injury that I couldn't walk for 3 months. I was in physiotherapy for 3 months, and I went through crutches and electric therapy and all of that. And so my first question would be this. To Dr. Itiye, when you say lactic acid formation, now what is the way, because you had said your body will normally use CO2, CO4, right, and oxygen to help you generate energy. But when it lacks that, it will use what it has to create energy in your body, and it forms lactic acid. So my question is this: what is the best way to shore oxygen before you start working out, so your body doesn't need to go to some sort of alternate state to start creating energy, so that lactic acid starts? That's my first question. The second one is this: so you say, okay, let me give you a quick example. You say the escape, I think it's solid, it's sharp, it's the last one. So what sorry, yes, okay. So it's starting. So what that means is that it's immediately you get that stop. Now, like I said, I did work for 3 months and I did feel those things. But I think when I went to physiotherapy later and I explained to the doctor, I was jumping when I was in aerobics class. And my spine was taking so much heat that I didn't know it was taking. But the pain I felt there wasn't stabbing. It wasn't solid. I just felt a bit of slight discomfort and I thought, let's go. And then normally I'll be stretching it. Anyway, 3-4 days later I do work for 3 months. So what I'm saying is this: does someone need to learn about their body before they put their body in an exercise state? Because for me, that was important because I didn't know that I wasn't going to walk after 3 years. So I don't know if you understand the question, which means I didn't feel any sharp pain, I didn't feel, but the pains I felt after the third day I couldn't walk. Sorry, and lastly, so you said pushing through. I and you said maintaining form. A lot of, okay, so here's my question. A lot of coaches make you do reps that are stressful and don't recognize the students or the form. You are losing your form at exercising, but a lot of coaches just say, no, coach, you time up. Now, isn't there a way?
While still exercising, that tells you the technique or this rep anymore. I think I've really enjoyed myself. And it's time for you to stop and not push through. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we have a question. Sorry, the lecture was very interesting. I can tell you that most of us are actually listening, and please be patient with us. Thank you.
Okay, my question is to the doctors in the house. I want to ask, when you have an injury while on the training ground, because most persons will tell you why doing this, they had this injury, and you notice that the injury takes more time in healing than when you just have an injury that is outside the training ground. It takes more time, especially when you see yourself something, you just experience that pain comes back. I want to ask, how do we tackle this problem? Because, like I said, the injury keeps lingering because it's just there. It's just there. It comes and goes. So, I just want you to throw more light on this stuff.
Doc, to place more light on Amaka's matter, she has a problem that is close to what I think you guys refer to as plantar fasciitis, heel pain. So maybe you'll explain it better for her.
All right. So what I can say here is this: when you're outside your fitness group and you're just at home or anywhere and you have an injury, what do? You stop whatever activity you're doing. But you see, the issue with injuries at fitness group is this: a lot of people don't believe you're injured. Even you are trying to convince yourself that you don't think you're injured. Do you understand? So it's a cult-like effect. All right? And subtly, that is a subtle peer pressure. You see your colleagues doing this rep, and your body has given you that sign that you got injured, but no, you just want to still keep pushing through. Now the danger is this, because the danger is this: the normal way of the way forces, that's your body weight actually, that's the force I'm talking about, presented to your various joints. When there is a malalignment, when your joint is not in place, proper place, okay, the way the forces are distributed, it becomes unevenly distributed. It's just like I lift up and land on my feet, okay? My knees are okay. So the forces of my body weight on my knee, on my ankle, they are evenly distributed. But if I have an injury, a kind of discomfort somewhere, you know, the tendency of the body is to stylishly shift its weight away from that injured part. Sorry. Let me stay here. You know, I do a couple of joint replacement surgeries, knee and hip, and occasionally shoulder. So you see somebody with a K-leg, all right? It didn't start suddenly. What happened was that this side of the leg, of the knee, all right, had gotten back. Okay? This side of the knee had gotten back. That's the outer part. Okay? So it's like this. The body shifts the weight away from this bad part and takes it to the inner part. So you see that this ligament, which we call the medial collateral ligament of the knee, becomes stretched or lax. Alright? So when we open the knee, or when I open the knee that I want to change the joint, I find out that this part of the leg bone, which we call the tibia, is almost eaten up. The cartilage is gone. So what was the body doing at that time? The body was sparing this side and putting more weight on this side and becoming deformed. So that is essentially what happens. When you're in a sports center or when you're with your colleague, because you feel that you don't want anybody to look down on you as if you're the odd person here, you want to carry on. But that is injurious to you because you're further worsening the damage. It's just like simple terms. You have a flat tire. You don't want to go and vulcanize it. You don't want to change to your spec. Okay? You begin to run a distance of, you're not under any threat by all those robbers. You understand? I'm just talking of normal state. You have a flat tire. Instead of you to change it and run on your spare, get to the next vulcanizer and vulcanize your tire. You say, no, let me use it. You know that the damage is going to cause the wheel, the tire. I mean, it gets worse. It's simple. I hope that clarifies.
So, we still have questions. Yes, Dr. Please, we still have a few questions.
Good evening, everybody. You have really dealt with all the questions I wanted to ask. You have done well with your part. So it's not for you. Thank you, sir. Mrs. Alainka, people call me Zion. I have just two questions, and it's one each to each of the doctors. I want our dentist, our dental doctor, to please, no matter how little it is, don't think that because we are not children, we don't need to take care of our teeth. You know, as we age, our body system changes, including our teeth. So I want you to at least put some light on how we can take care of our dental, our mouth as we age. Because you notice by 60, most older people don't notice they have mouth odor, and they don't have it while they were, young. So how can we tackle this problem? So that's the question for him. I'll ask the two questions at once. So our physiotherapist, I would like you to please help us, at least teach us how to manage our bodies as we grow older. There are times you wake up with unseen pains. It is when you want to get down from the bed, you kind of realize that where did this pain come from? At night you slept well, or while you wanted to sleep. But in the morning, getting up, becomes a big job for you. So what are the things that, even before we get to the gym, those things that we can do and will also help us as we grow older so that we'll keep fit? Thank you so very much.
Okay, you asked a very nice question, but unfortunately, like I said, I was expecting a crowd of school children because of the campaign we've been doing. Because the theme for this year is a healthy mouth is a happy life. A healthy mouth is a happy life. And the campaign we are doing so far is taking us around schools in Lagos. Visited over maybe about 10 schools, and we're trying to work out a collaboration with Lagos State government and the authorities around in order to send the message across early. The thing is that bad habit or bad habits are difficult to eliminate when you are older. And the answer to a good oral health or a healthy mouth begins with good brushing. In other words, the technique of brushing is very important because the build up to a poor oral hygiene is actually the main reason for most oral problems we have. When you have calculus building up, when you have caries, when you have inflammatory gum diseases, they are all just build up to the technique of using taking care of the mouth. So the way you brush is a major problem. You know, we would have come with our demo brush today, which is as large as you can imagine. And we have come with the mouth too, as big as it is. And that's what we're using to take to students, to schools, so that they can start it early. But for most of us, telling you to brush up and down is a difficult task at this stage. But that's where it starts actually. Because most brushing technique is like a moving train. You know, people brush this way. And that's where the problem starts. When you brush down this way, just take it out. It's just like somebody who is, you know, the emphasis to us is on soft brush. The emphasis is use soft brush. Don't ever buy hard brush. And why do we say so? Just get your glass plate and your scrub and use the scrub to wash your glass plate and tell me the effect. What do you see over time? What do you see over time? A line. Your teeth has the same structure like your glass plate. So when you use a very hard brush, what are you doing? You are cutting through that over time. With age, sensitivity comes. Most people here present with sensitivity, and that's a result of what they've done over the years. Just think about every time you have a big tree behind your house, and early in the morning, first thing you do is to cut it with something like a saw. With time, you see the body of that tree bleeding. That's the same way the teeth will react. When you keep traumatizing it with hard brush, over time you present with sensitivity. And sensitivity is a very difficult thing to treat in dental care. It's a major problem. Over 70% of adults that present in the clinic come with sensitivity. But you know what? You keep hearing an advert about sensitivity all the time by a particular brand. They keep telling you about, use this brand when you have sensitivity. But there's one thing they will not tell you. Don't brush with hard brush. Because the moment they put it in the advert, their product is gone. I was actually invited to the UK by GSK sometime for a 1-month campaign on oral health. And I asked that same question. I said, each time people keep telling us, the advert is, use this product when you have sensitivity. Why don't you tell people the real thing? Don't use hard brush. Of course, somebody asked, if they had asked that, I wouldn't have been here today to represent their brand. So they keep quiet about that. But that's what the dentist will tell each and everyone. Use soft brush. It feels as if you're not doing it, but it's just like using a phone to wash your glass skin. It's backwards. And brushing should be like 2 minutes maximum. You don't need all the time. It is important. Divide your mouth into 4 quadrants. Every side of it for 30 seconds. And that gives you the 2 minutes. And of course, you have to change your brush every 2 months. So if you are adopting all of this, the oral hygiene will improve. You are down because calculus, once you can eliminate that in the mouth, you actually started the journey to a healthy mouth and a healthy body.
All right. Thank you very much. Before I will answer your question, I would like to also throw more light as regards to what our orthopedic doctor said, you know, when an athlete gets an injury, there's a phase where he or she is stopped from every sports or physical activity. And that's because he has to undergo healing. There's the healing phase